Awesome. Thank you, Carter. And thank you, Charna, for a great OpenRAG demo. My name is Roy. I work in product and engineering here at IBM. And I'm going to show you what you can do with Docling, which is one of the key components in the OpenRAG demo that you saw. So if you're building these AI applications, or maybe you're building agents, or maybe you've dabbled with RAG in the past, the one key thing you would need is to turn your data, whether it's structured or unstructured, into something LLMs and agents can actually work with. So Docling is really great at helping you to turn the data into something you can plug into your AI application or your agent. It can work with all sorts of files extensions, and it can also output JSON, Markdown, or even plain text. There are a lot of things you can do with Docling. I can talk for hours about all the features that are in there. There's quite an extensive list here or on the GitHub page because all of it is open source. But I want to spend some time on how to actually use Docling as a developer. There are a couple of ways to use Docling. You can go to GitHub and check out the Python code. You can pull down the source code. You can go to PyPy and install it directly using pip install Docling. That's one of the key ways to use it. Another way, which I personally really like, is using the MCP server, because you can use this MCP server in your chat application that also supports bringing in MCP servers. So if you want to use the MCP servers, you can just do it by using UVX. And then finally, there is also models. So Docling is more than just code. It is also models that help you to turn that data into something you can use in your AI application. And all of this is integrated in many great already existing developer tools like Langflow or Crew AI. We also have partnerships with all sorts of companies like NVIDIA to improve Docling as well. So there's many ways to get started as a developer, and I'm going to show you a couple more. But first, I also want to highlight that Docling is really great at turning these documents into structured data. The people at Hugging Face did some tests and actually found Docling is up to 50 times more efficient than using a vision model directly. And you can find all of this if you search for it. There are data sets you can try out with Docling yourself. I can show you more numbers, but probably the best way to actually figure out if what I'm telling you is correctly is by trying it out yourself. And we see developers massively trying out Docling on their own. If you look at the GitHub repo, it has a ton of stars. It has been one of the trending repos on GitHub as well. You can also find it in the trending data sets on Hugging Face. As I mentioned, Docling is more than code. It's also models. And we have over 2 million downloads on Hugging Face and PyPy combined. And I can tell you much more about Docling, about the team behind it at IBM Research that is building it, on how we work together with the Linux Foundation, or how it integrates into all sorts of developers' products. But I can also just show it to you. So the next part is going to be a quick demo on how Docling is powering OpenRAG, but also how you can use Docling yourself, either via MCP or by using it directly in Langflow. So we just saw OpenRAG. A part of a RAG pipeline, of course, is ingestion. And I'm actually going to go back here real quick. If you think about RAG, it's two pieces. Basically, it's retrieval and ingestion. The part that Docling can help you with is the ingestion part. So I'm going to show you an ingestion flow that's being used in OpenRAG today. And then we're going to highlight how Docling is powering this ingestion flow by parsing documents. So this is the ingestion flow for OpenRAG. If we go to the very top, you can see Docling is in here. We're running Docling. We're running Docling serve, meaning there is a server that has Docling running, and we can send documents to the server. And then we're going to export this as a Docling document. So what Docling does, it doesn't directly transform your data into plain text or Markdown or JSON. It turns it into a Docling document first, and this document can then be translated into different pieces of structured data. If you look at the rest of the pipeline, it's all gonna help you by taking these documents, doing some conversions, splitting it and chunking it, and finally storing it in OpenSearch right here. We have other speakers showing you later how to do this step by step. I'm just going to highlight the Docling part. For this, I'm going to open a different flow, which is my Docling flow. And in here, you can see I have Docling serve running again. It's running on my local host, but you can also deploy this to your own servers or run it on your own machine too. And then we're going to export it as a Docling document. We can have different export formats. We can do Markdown, HTML, JSON, even plain text. If you want to do more, you can actually click on this component here and set more settings. There are plenty of things you can do. And finally, we're going to output the results of this. So the file I'm taking is actually a research paper about Model Context Protocol. I'm a big fan of MCP, and I think more developers should use it. Developers are already using it. If you look at Carter, he has a nice MCP shirt. So luckily, I'm not wearing the same one today, otherwise it might have been weird. So this is the paper I'll be looking at. It has text, which is easy. There are plenty of ways to turn text into text you can use in AI apps. It also has diagrams. So most document processing tools, they struggle with these diagrams. And they might also struggle with tables. Whenever you combine a table with a diagram, all of that sort of more complex setup you might see in PDFs. So in Docling, I already turned this file. I already uploaded this file in Langflow here. You see I froze this component. I can actually look at the exported data. So let me run this export pipeline. And now I'm able to see my PDF being translated into plain text, or this more looks like Markdown. You can see there's a lot of things in there. If you would scroll down, you would find your graphs, you would find the tables, you would find all the information that's in the PDF. So something Docling does really well compared to other libraries is, if you look at PDFs, PDFs can be big, they can have diagrams, they can have tables. A lot of the PDF parsers that you might be using, especially lower level ones, like a simple Python script or a JavaScript script you might run, they don't really include page headers, they don't understand tables, they might not be able to parse your images into text, and they might be also quite noisy and unfit for most cases. If you look at Docling, you're able to do all of this. We saw before it's up to 50 times more efficient than just using a vision model. So if you were to drop these PDFs into your favorite chat application, you probably get good results, but you don't get the best results or the most efficient results. So this is where Docling comes in. And as a developer, there are many ways to try out Docling. So let me see if I can run this live. To be frank, it isn't my computer. Mine just broke down right before. So this is kind of playing with fire. It looks like it's doing something. Let me unblock the freeze. And then we can just pray together. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to my slides and show you how to try out Docling yourself. So this might take a couple of seconds depending on the speed of your machine, because it's going to parse this PDF. It might run a local model as well while it's doing all of this. And then finally, your output should be data that you can actually read, and thereby a large language model or an agent can also read. So I think I'm going to wait a few more seconds, and otherwise I'll just recommend you to try this out on your own at home. There we go. So now we have our data. If we go here, you can see the Docling document that's being created. It has my file name. It has a lot of things in there. It's not in data that we can actually read, so this is still JSON. That's kind of messy. So that's why we export this Docling document into something like Markdown or JSON or HTML. I'm actually going to try Markdown again and then run this part of the pipeline, and then we should be seeing fresh data coming in. You can see it's taking slightly longer because previously I froze this, meaning that, well, actually should have frozen it again because now it's going to run the entire thing again. So I saw Carter being happy. Maybe he needs to do another dance in the meantime. I think it took like 40 seconds previously, so we can wait 20 seconds.
We have time.
We have plenty of time, people. We have like 2 hours full of demos for you. So yeah, I'm running this pipeline now. It's going to export it as Markdown. I could have went with JSON or plain text. I think I should have JSON in here somewhere as well. So now if I'm going here, I can see fresh data, and this is all running on the fly. And you can do this with basically an unlimited amount of documents. And if you install OpenRAG, eventually you're going to be able to have an easy way to bring in all sorts of files, even have files running from a directory, all these kind of things. So Docling is really helping you to simplify your RAG pipeline by taking away the hard part of turning these documents into something your AI apps can actually read. There are many ways to try it out yourself. So there are a couple of QR codes. If you want to look at the docs, you can follow this QR code, which will bring you to the Docling website. You can also try out the MCP server, which you can use in any chat application that supports MCP. It's even natively integrated in the connectors page in Cloud Desktop. And then there are the models on Hugging Face in case you want to try those out. If you're lazy like me, you can also just go to your terminal, run pip install Docling, and see how to run it yourself. So thank you.